Alright, so as we last left off, we just defeated that monster. And now we're going to the Cliffside Entrance. And this is my final part. And as you see, we have Alucard. I'll show you the place when we get there. So things are going to be made a little bit trickier because now we gotta rely on only Alucard. No, Alucard and Ralph. But most of the time we will be using Ralph. Except here, we will be using Alucard. Just so we can bypass this nasty area over here. And yeah, I'm glad this is the final part because I am just tired of hearing these nasty sounds coming out of this emulator. And he has a neat ability that he can fly, and it consumes 1 heart per second. But as you see there, I only had 7 hearts and I used 3. That's pretty big for the supply. But here, I'm gonna need to stock up on plenty of hearts. Yeah, I'm gonna have to save these for the boss. I'll try my best not to use them for the boss, but I absolutely hate this level because of that mountain. I don't think I really have a choice if I want to do this walkthrough. I don't think I have a choice if I want to do it under 20 minutes. That part right there, that's pretty much the only part where Alucard comes in handy. And I think I may need at least 10 hearts to be able to fly up the mountain. And Alucard is actually much stronger than Grant was, because he takes the same amount of damage as Ralph did. Now we have this part. Here, I'm not even gonna bother flying because I really want to save up for the... I'm going to have to save all this. Oh, well, it would have hit me anyway. Now I'm gonna have to deal with these guys. But instead, I think I'm just gonna switch to Ralph because he has a better attack range. And his attack is much less confusing. Oh, and just in case you haven't noticed, depending on the character you're using, while the blocks are falling, when you see them falling now, they're orange, and when I was using Alucard, you may have saw that they were red. I'm not really sure why that is, but I guess it just is what it is. Wrong button. I'm just gonna try my best not to use my special weapon as much as possible. And there we go. I shall take that. Only because I need to save that. Yeah, I really need to save all these hearts. And just in response to my last video, Alucard actually cannot fly over walls at the top of the screen. Basically, Grant is the only one who can bypass that. Alright, and now attack. Here I'm going to switch to Alucard because, wow, I'm halfway on time already. Just so I could get that heart right there. I may have enough for the battle, but I may not have enough for flying up, just so I can conserve time. And we're fighting the same guy from the Murky Marsh of Morbid Morons. So far I only used 3. And I want to try my best not to take too much damage because I just hate the sound. I just hate listening to it. Alright. Not quite able to finish him off. But I think we did the best we could. Come on, you stupid bat, get out of here. And now we will be heading over to this door over here. And wow. This is the place where I plan to use Alucard so I can bypass this frustrating area. However, one hit is good enough to disable this ability, so it could actually be a bit tough. It could be tough to dodge all these blocks. So we're stopping here so we can get some more hearts, and then we're going over here. I'm gonna have to post how many hearts that wasted. Not that you guys care, but just for show. And once I get to the next checkpoint, I will just stop the clip and I'll start a new one. Get out of here. Man, I just can't wait till this is over because I just hate this emulator. I know I've said it enough times, but just listen to it. And every time you state save, just has these ridiculous sounds. Some of you who play Super Mario Brothers hacks, you may have heard that. Well, you're probably using Mr. J because this emulator I absolutely hate. Oh, and this section I absolutely despise. Well, I'm certainly not wasting any time just to get past there. I wasted 3 hearts, but it was certainly worth it. And I shall tempt fate. Hopefully there will be no one-up curse. Whoa, that's not good. Alright, 2 hearts. That's the least I've ever had to use up, but wow. I've only got 30 seconds left in this clip. So what I'll do is just stop the clip here and then return. Alright. Whoa. You're listening to this, right? If you can't hear this, you are certainly deaf. That's the problem. And for those of you who are worried about death, no worries. These spikes here are not instant death. Alright, so it's best not to attack at all. But just run straight for the door. I have 27 hearts. Hey, I get a triple shot. Thank you. There's no way I will not take that. I believe these things keep on producing themselves. And now we have an upward scrolling room. I hate this part of the stage. All scrolling stages I completely despise. Because, well, they scroll. And by this point, I think you should know if you got an area with that. You got an area with that with 2 blocks right next to each other. That can't be good. I really do not feel like doing this, but I feel it's for my own good in order to bypass this part. I'll take the hits, I don't care. Because I feel this is the only way I can even get by this area. And make sure to take the right path, always. Why? Because the other side has stairs. And we hate stairs. And I also hate... Oh, I just hate when the pressure's put on me. Alright, fine. Man, this place really wanted to use Alucard as much as possible. And no, I did not want to do that. This, however, I did want to do. I just want to fly up here as fast as possible so I do not... So I possibly do not get hit. And note, while in bat form, you cannot attack. Yeah, this place really wants to use Alucard as much as possible. Ah, great mummies. The first time I got to that area... Oh, I forgot. I had the stopwatch. I shall take those hearts. And now we are heading over to the same boss that we faced over at the castle courtyard, I believe. But yeah, this place really wants you to... This place really wants to use Alucard as much as you possibly can. I think you're limited to the amount of of balls of destruction you can have on the screen at once. Alright, so the first mummy's down, and I guarantee this is definitely gonna be the longer of the parts. I do not want to get hit. And don't even try using the stopwatch there, because all these bosses are completely immune to the stopwatch. Okay, why am I using Alucard when I could just use this guy? Come on, one more hit. There we go. And now we have form number 2. And I think you get the idea by this point, but now that we're stuck using Alucard, it could be a little bit tricky, but if you have the boomerang, you should be good. Just make sure not to use too many of them. When he's low on life, you could easily just attack him that way. Make sure he doesn't get too close to you, otherwise you will have trouble. And all the bosses are the same. So, no worries for those who are worried. So, I only have 3 uses of these boomerangs left. Which reminds me, I just made an origami boomerang, and I love it. 6 hearts. No, I'm not. When he does his really high jump, that is the time to get out of the way. Bam! And there you have the complete walkthrough of Akumajou Densetsu. Yep. This was fun. I liked it. So as you probably would have guessed, this was a pretty fun game to do a walkthrough of. I quite enjoyed it. Now, as you also probably could have guessed, my least favorite level was at Cliffside Entrance. And I'm also really glad that I did this and not Castlevania 3, because you saw the differences between that one and differences between Grant in the Japanese version and Grant in the US and PAL versions. And Akumajou Densetsu is a much funner game than Castlevania 3. And I absolutely love this game. It has my second favorite Castlevania music, only because I think Super Castlevania 4's music totally beats it, because that's 16-bit. Maybe not totally. This one actually comes pretty close. But the music is still incredible. Please download if you are a Castlevania fan. And if you have a Famicom, this is a must game for your collection. So, I hope you enjoyed this 11-part walkthrough, and I'll see you whenever I make my next video.